going on, friends? The 2006 Dyna line was really kind of a lab experiment that Harley-Davidson released on the public. Now this was really kind of odd because in 2006 we saw just the Dyna line only, which got some major engine upgrades and improvements, while the Softail and the Touring line, they pretty much remained exactly the same. Now if you own a 2006 Dyna, you probably already know that trying to find performance parts for these bikes can be a little bit confusing. But not to worry, it's not nearly as bad as you might think. Now traditionally Harley-Davidson, when they make any updates or changes, they always start in the Touring line. For example, in 2003, the 103 first appeared. Now this isn't the same 103 that came out in later production, but it was the Screamin' Eagle 103 and they brought it out in the Road King. Now later on, we saw the 103 slowly start to appear in police motorcycles and then select touring bikes. And later on, eventually, all the big twins, the Dyna, the Softail, and the touring motorcycles, all had the 103. So for Harley-Davidson to do this with the Dyna, this was really kind of highly unusual. But for whatever reason, Harley-Davidson chose the 2006 Dyna to have a bunch of upgrades put into the Twin Cam 88 that, honestly, we would have really loved to see and really appreciated in the Touring and Softail lines as well. So what exactly is it that made the 2006 Dyna so special, and why the heck is it so confusing to find parts for these motorcycles? Guys, if you enjoyed today's video, please don't forget to hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. If you own a 2006 Dyna, you've probably been through this a million times. Parts say they fit 1999 to 2006 Twin Cam 88 except Dyna. Or, on the other side of that, 2007 to 2017 except 06 Dyna. Well, this isn't entirely accurate because the 2006 Dyna with the Twin Cam 88, this engine is actually more related to the Twin Cam 96 rather than the Twin Cam 88 from 05 and earlier. There is one exception to that 2006 Dyna engine being related to the 07, and I'm going to let you guys in on that secret a little later in the video, but honestly, it's not hard to find parts for these engines. The 2006 Dyna line still retained the Twin Cam 88, but this 88 actually received hydraulic tensioners. This was the only time from the factory that the Twin Cam 88 actually received hydraulic tensioners. And in addition to the hydraulic tensioners, Harley-Davidson put an upgraded cam plate in it, they put a better oil pump in there, they also upgraded all of the cam bearings, and put in some much improved camshafts. So far, these 2006 Dyna models are sounding pretty good. But just wait, it honestly gets even better. Harley-Davidson put a higher flowing head on it, which had a lighter, higher performing valve train. Not only that, there was a new starter design. Harley-Davidson redesigned the starting system on these, which pretty much eliminated the issues that we used to have with the starter jack shaft on previous versions of the Twin Cam 88. 2006 Dynas also received a redesigned clutch, which was lighter weight, and also, as Harley-Davidson claimed, it would also reduce your lever pull effort by about 35%. Now, if you've ever really paid attention to the Twin Cam 88 on a 2006 Dyna, you might notice something interesting. You don't see any external oil lines on these engines. What Harley-Davidson actually did was they took all the oil routing and actually ran it internally through internal oil passages throughout the engine back to the oil pan. Also for 2006, on the Dyna only, this was the first year of the automatic primary chain tensioner. And if you guys have watched a lot of my videos, you know I am not a fan of the automatic primary chain tensioner on the big twins. The 2006 Dyna also got some really nice chassis upgrades. Harley-Davidson finally did away with the 39mm front fork and went to a nice big beefy 49mm front fork. Now this is just my opinion, but I always thought the 39mm front fork on 2005 and earlier Dynas just looked a little out of place. It looked a little small on the Dyna, which is obviously a bigger frame bike. The 39mm fork works on the Sportster since it's a little smaller, but honestly that 49mm fork looks right at home on the front of the Dynas from 2006 and up. 2006 Dynas were also the only Twin Cam 88 powered bikes to come out of Harley-Davidson from the factory with the 6-speed cruise drive transmission. And also in 2006, all the Dynas, there was fuel injection only. Carburetor was no longer an option. So meanwhile, the touring bikes and the Softails, they still retain the 5-speed transmission, which is just really odd to me that Harley-Davidson put the 6-speed in the Dyna, but they left the touring line still having the 5-speed transmission. The twin cam 88 for 2006 in the Dyna still had the 3.750-inch bore, and it still retained the 4-inch stroke. Now for 2007, when the 96 came out, they still retained that 3.750-inch bore, but the stroke was actually increased to 4.380 inches when the twin cam 96 was actually introduced in 2007. If you haven't caught it yet, the secret is that the 2006 Dyna with the twin cam 88 is basically nothing more than a de-stroked 2007 twin cam 96. The 2006 Dyna with the twin cam 88, it shares the same cases as what would come in 2007 with the 96. The only difference really is that the 96 got a longer stroke crank. This is why pretty much all of the engine internals from a 2006 Dyna will not change over to anything 2005 or earlier twin cam 88s. The cases are completely different, and pretty much all the internals are different. So if you're looking for performance parts for your 2006 Dyna, especially camshafts, 2007 and newer parts will actually work in your 2006 Dyna. The 2006 Dynas actually share the same cam plates, the same oil pumps, the same camshafts, the same cam bearings. This is pretty much all the same as 2007 up, so the 2007 and up parts and camshafts will fit your 06 Dyna. Now obviously the crankshafts are different between 2006 and 2007 because the longer stroke is how Harley-Davidson made the 96-inch displacement. But for the most part, other than the crankshaft, the 2006 88 in the Dyna is pretty much more closely related to the twin cam 96 that came out in 2007. Don't get discouraged if you're shopping for parts and you're having trouble trying to find parts for your 2006 Dyna. The 2006 Dyna is more related to that twin cam 96 than it is to 05 and earlier twin cam 88s. And honestly, if you're comparing the differences between the 05 and earlier twin cam 88 to an 06 Dyna's twin cam 88, looking at all those differences, it pretty much looks like that engine fell from space. I really hope that kind of cleared things up on the 2006 Dyna specifically. I always got a lot of comments of asking about what camshafts will fit this bike. Everything says that it fits this and this, everything except my 06 Dyna. What's going on here? Well guys, I hope that cleared it up a little bit. As I mentioned, just remember it's more related to the 07 and later models in more ways than it is to the 05 and earlier. But anyhow guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please don't forget to hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. But until next week guys, you stay safe on the streets, ride smart, dodge the cars, and I'll catch you guys back here next week with a brand new video. Thanks for watching.